his term in office has done quite a lot to focus the minds of Black people.
At the risk of invoking anger from the spirits of my ancestors, I will entertain this conversation for a brief spell.
Yeah, I was wondering, or it prompted me to think about whether he's actually mobilized or motivated the far right far more than the Black community.
Greetings and welcome to this week's ORT, where our panelists Ebony Harmony, Kindred Spirit, and Brother S discuss the recent American election and its significance to the African diaspora. Yeah, Kindred was here and then she just dig up, as you come in, she dig up. So I don't know where now back one.
It's a long time I heard anybody say dig up.
A revival show, man. Revival show. It's like when we did a talk about dancing and you mentioned walk of shame. I get a few messages from some brothers saying some memories just come back to them. The walk of shame. Oh my days.
Yeah, traumatized. They were traumatized. See?
So right, listen, we've got some topics here. I'm sure she's gonna make her way back in.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my technical engineer is assisting her as we speak. So we had now we don't have to stick with these topics, and if you haven't thought of something, we may have go with something else, and I'll mention something else maybe.
Okay.
1, share an embarrassing moment. 2, what was the worst advice you've ever taken? And the third option, which is I'm gonna throw in there today, which is Donald Trump. So you can take your pick.
What you say, sis?
She's back.
Hello.
I'm open to any of those, Brother S.
Okay. I'm gonna steer clear of DT.
Donald Trump.
Right.
I thought you would have gone for that one. I thought it would be so much mileage in him. Okay.
At best, right now, I don't want to infect the universe by entertaining him, even in my spirit. So make him go on.
Is Kindred back?
Greetings, sorry.
Greetings.
Technical hitch.
Yeah, man, I told them the technical team was working with you, sorting things out.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Thank you, boys.
Everybody good?
Yes. Your voice sound crystal clear, though. Jeez.
Okay, good to know.
Well, yeah, you put some credit by your phone. So listen here. We were trying to decide on what topics to go for. So one was share an embarrassing moment. The other one was worst advice you've ever taken. That one's hard. And what I was throwing in there as a wild card was Lord of His mercy. Hey. That wasn't me, was it? And the other one was Donald Trump.
It's got to be the Trump, hasn't it?
Well, Brother S wants to avoid him. He doesn't want to. I don't know. I think he's trying.
You're not feeling him, Brother S.
He's trying not to call any angels from Africa. Angels from Africa. Angels from Africa. Don't come. We don't want to call no angels from Africa down or something of that nature.
Well, I have a slightly different view, so it might be worth a conversation.
Indeed.
Okay. Right, well.
But I'm happy to go with the majority. I'm sure we've got loads of interesting things to cover.
All right, okay. Well, in the meantime, I've got a few quiz questions just to warm you guys up, brothers and sisters, because I know I'm with some of the sharpest brains when it comes on to matters of melanated people.
Fighting talk, Brother S. You're feeling confident?
No, it's just I'm tired of getting them wrong.
Oh, you don't get them wrong. Just perhaps not quite as quick as the rest of us.
All right. Well, I don't mean intelligently.
quick.
Oh dear.
That was a backhanded compliment if ever I heard one.
No way.
Miss say.
No, there are none of those on this show as far as I'm aware.
Oh dear. Who needs
brutal.
enemies, eh?
Nicely moving.
Yeah.
Nice maneuver.
The truth will always prevail. Truth will always prevail.
That was a backhand slap with the rings on.
Why are you being so delicate? It's not true.
Mercy.
Well, these are very easy ones anyway this week. You know,
Okay.
like
Oh,
I
there's
said,
another backhanded.
it's a Wednesday night. It's
What are
7
you
o'clock.
implying, Kush?
That at times we need to take it easy. That's all. We just need to lower the stress. That's all. So, who is married to the man who identifies himself as Prince Harry?
Meghan Markle.
Meghan.
Meghan, isn't it?
Ah, well, her. You are right, but her official title is Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex.
Of course it
It's gonna
is.
come with
Eh?
that.
Eh?
Yeah.
Gonna get one little piece of
Show
black blood
respect.
in a Buckingham Palace, and I don't want to call her my sister.
Well, that's debatable too, but that's another conversation for another time.
Right.
You people, man, you just can't respect your own. Right. Question 2. This one's a toughie. Who is Blessings Okenbari? And I'll give you a clue. She's involved in sports. Blessings
That's right.
Okenbari.
Hold on.
Is it something left field? Like, does she manage the women's football team or something?
She is.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She is
hold on.
female. That's all I was gonna say.
Oh.
I've never heard the name.
What was the
I
clue?
have.
Pardon?
What was
The clue was
She's involved in sports.
Involved, as
Oh,
in
yeah.
As in
participates, or is in actually competing?
Ice. Yes.
Okay. She's an athlete.
I go to be.
Oh yes.
And
Getting warm.
Yeah. She is a
Athlete. Who
100-meter
Is that
sprinter.
what Google says?
Look here, man. Look here, man.
Brother S, no.
Look here.
Fire.
God is watching you.
Fire.
She is.
That means she's got to be the fastest woman in the world or something. Then,
No,
doesn't
she's
it?
the fastest
No.
one in Africa.
Oh,
She holds
okay.
the women's 100 meters Commonwealth Games record for the
Come on.
fastest time of 10.85 seconds.
Hey.
She's
Fire.
an Olympic and World Championship medalist in the long jump and world medalist
Oh,
in the 200 meters. You see,
Give me my props.
I'm giving it to you and Google search.
All right.
When Google.
No, hey.
you
no,
need
I
to
don't
log
take-
off, brother
Listen,
S. You need to
God
log
is
off.
good, right? Let me tell you something for nothing, right? I never cheat. I prefer lose rather than cheat.
Okay.
So-
You can see your fingers crossed
Okay.
there, you know.
Well, in that
No,
case,
I wouldn't even know where to look for it.
in that case, I'm giving you your props. Well done, because
Thank you very much.
it's
Thank
not
you,
it's
thank
not
you.
an easy one to get because her
No,
name
no,
isn't popularized, and that
That's
says
right.
something.
True.
That says
So
something.
I went
Oh.
through my memory bank of why have I heard the rhythmic of name. Blessing Okunbara.
Okay.
That's why
Where
I was
is she
able to
from?
figure it
Nigeria.
out. Nigeria.
Okay,
Yeah,
right, I'll
yeah,
look
yeah.
out for her.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Definitely. So question 3. Which dance group member was subjected to racist abuse after appearing on British TV?
Oh, was that?
Ashley Bantu.
That's right. That's right.
Ashley Bantu.
Ashley-
You know something? If you was
Banjo,
going for the
innit?
book, right there it is.
Banjo.
There it is. Kindred.
Ashley Bantu.
Ashley
Yes.
Banjo.
Diversity is Ashley Banjo subjected
Okay.
to racist abuse and threats after Britain's Got Talent's Black Lives Matter routine.
Okay. There you are. Didn't Google that.
We know you're
We
sharp,
believe
Reyes.
you.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. All that ruse at the beginning about you getting them wrong
Yeah.
often, it didn't fool me.
Imagine.
Question 4. There were large protests in which London borough to stop the building of the Hondo 20-story tower being built? There were large protests in which London borough to stop the building of the Hondo 20-story tower being built? Now, you've got to think black community here.
Okay.
Dun, dun,
In London,
dun. Yep.
I'm going to say. Go ahead, sisters. I'll give you a chance to fail first.
Such a gentleman. Such a gentleman.
Oh dear. Wow.
There's only about 4 that you would really say as a concentration.
Borough.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Southwark.
No, hit the post. You hit the post.
I'll go somewhere like Brent.
Oh, right over. It's a penalty kick and it gone right over the bar. Right over the bar.
No.
Black British, Black Boroughs. Southwark, Brent.
Lambeth?
Lucian?
Did somebody say Lambeth?
It's Lambeth.
Yeah, I said Lambeth.
It's Lambeth. Yeah, it is
It's
Lambeth.
Lambeth.
It's in Brixton, to be precise, and Lambeth is the borough. Okay. In a campaign called Fight the Tower. Yes, nice catchy one there.
Wow.
Yes.
Over 100 planning objections and 500 signatures, including that of MP Helen Hayes, have been registered in objection to the tower that lacks the feel with further disruption in Brixton's in the center of Brixton.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're trying to over gentrify. They've done their gentrifying to a certain degree already, but now they want to put it in the tower block, and they're saying no. So we're also saying fight the tower.
Okay.
Question 5. Which one of the islands' national dish is called oil down? Which one of the islands' national dish is called oil down?
Oil down.
And it can't.
Okay.
The name sounds
it's oil
like
down.
The name sounds like Freda.
What? Anyway, I'm gonna go Grenada.
Yes, man. Look at that. Absolutely hit the bullseye. Eh?
Yeah.
So called oil down, it's a very simple, delicious, and robust dish which is extremely popular at local cook-ups. This one-pot meal consists of salted meat, chicken, dumplings, breadfruit, callaloo, made from young dasheen leaves, and other vegetables. The whole thing is stewed in coconut milk, herbs, and spices.
Oh. Absolutely gorgeous.
Interesting.
Okay. So
sounds very appetizing.
Yes.
Well done, Ingrid, for allowing him to win this week.
Yeah, we have to sometimes, isn't it, Ebony? Just to even it up a bit.
Help each other, haven't we?
Exactly.
Spirit and all that.
That community spirit.
One hand crosses the other, etc.
Come on.
The spirit of competition.
I love you all.
Alive,
fire. I love you all.
All right. Who owned the first black-owned record label in America and recorded Muhammad Ali doing what is considered to be the first rap record? Who owned the first black-owned record label in America and recorded Muhammad Ali doing what is considered to be the first rap record?
Berry Gordy.
Right off of the post.
Of course, yeah.
What was it called?
Not
Pardon?
Gordy. Okay.
Would you like a bonus? Can I get a bonus point for telling what it's called?
Yeah, you can get that.
Okay, this is a guess.
But it's not Berry Gordy.
No, it's not Berry Gordy, no.
Was it?
Right. Okay.
Was it? I'm sure it was something Swan or Black Swan Record, something like that.
Oof. Oh, you're gonna kick yourself with this one. You're going to kick on yourself with a shank, huh?
Oh.
Let me tell you.
If it's not Berry Gordy, who would it be?
I don't know, but that's the sound of the man working on the chain.
Sam Cooke.
Really?
Yes, man.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, man. You see, you don't just come here for
impressed.
laugh and joke. You come here to learn.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the learning on that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So Sam Cooke was very much close with Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X.
Yes, he was. Yes.
And there is truth being spread nowadays that he was murdered because he was going to become a Muslim, and they had to stop the Nation of Islam and the power and the influence that may have brought to him. So that's why he was murdered. But he was very much into black empowerment, Sam Cooke. Okay, so Leonard P. Howell, last question. He named Bob Marley Tough Gong because he was brown in color and he was a tough street fighter. But where did the name originate before that?
Tough Gong.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, where did it originate? That's such a huge, broad question.
Yes, but where did it become popularized? We know it through Bob Marley as Tough Gong, but it came from someplace else.
That Rastafari movement.
Nope.
The Gung Howell.
No. Yes, no, I've said that with Leonard Howell.
Oh.
But where did Leonard Howell get it from?
Hmm.
You're gonna kick yourself. You're gonna kick yourself. Okay, well, if you watch any old black and white movies from the British, from the Elstree Studios, you will see the man hitting the gong. Pong.
Oh,
yes.
okay. The
Pong.
little man. Okay.
The musket.
Yes.
You see,
Okay.
you don't just come here to laugh and joke. You see, you come here to learn something. Good. Right, so there we have it.
This is ORT.
And a quick big up to our sponsors, Sunrise CMOS. Are we going to deal with Mr. Trump, or are we going to talk about our most embarrassing moments?
Trump.
What was your handle on Trump, Kindred?
My handle on Trump is that
He is a Trump.
he is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a racist, sexist, orange-colored megalomaniac. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But in a funny sort of way, I think his term in office has done quite a lot to focus the minds of Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of pulled away this facade of, inclusion and all the things that they've been spinning us for a long time. And you kind of have to now look at the situation for what it really is.
Okay.
And I do think you do need, every couple of decades or so, you need a Donald Trump to kind of blow away the cobwebs, get rid of the confusion, and present us with what the reality is, because then we have to respond and act. And I think that that's what he's done.
Okay.
And the problem is that, I've said this before, we are like the tennis ball that gets batted back and forth between two kind of political ideologies. And neither one of them have served us very well. And I think it's got to a point now where I think people are waking up to the fact, or I hope they were waking up to the fact that we need to get a bit more smart and stop relying on these people to feel sorry for us and to look after us. Because he's made it very clear that's not what he's about. And that's, I think we need to hear that. And somebody said it, I was trawling through some stuff online, and somebody touted the idea that what we need to do is start, politics is not about charity and welfare. We need to get hard line about this as a people and say to them, right, we're not giving you our votes, we're selling them to you. And we're selling them to you on the basis that this is what we're putting on the table. And any one of you that is prepared to come to the table and present us with tangible evidence of what our vote is worth to you, will get our vote. It's a business. And that's what we need to start doing, as opposed to continually asking them to do right by us. We need to be saying to them, we've got X amount of votes, we're willing to give them or sell them to whoever is willing to bring something tangible to the table. And that I think you needed a Trump to get a lot of us to that point.
Okay. So you think he's a useful vehicle in sobering us up?
I think he's a necessary vehicle in sobering us up. And I think the unfortunate thing is that the Americans are going to have to take the hit. You know, they've had to take the hit for the last how many years? They've had to kind of take one for the team, as they say over there. But you needed him to really shake us up. And I don't know if the whole Black Lives Matters and all the, you know, the mass protest that's happened would have happened if you didn't have him doing exactly what he's done. So yes, you know, lives have been lost and a lot of nasty things have happened, but things have always happened anyway. But a lot of us have been asleep about the extent of it, or not willing to take a stand, or not willing to. But I think the time came, and him being in office really forced people to maybe look at a reality that they were trying to avoid.
Okay. Okay. Any other contributions on this utility vehicle called Donald Trump, and whether he has mobilized the Black electorate, not only in America, but I guess globally, in terms of the threat that somebody who has their hand on the button, as people may think, with his views brings to the table?
I hear what Kindred's saying. I would question whether he perhaps has mobilized or motivated the far right far more.
Speak up, sister.
Can you hear me?
You sound a little low.
Does that help? Let me shut.
That's better.
Yeah. I was wondering, or it prompted me to think about whether he's actually mobilized or motivated the far right far more than the Black community in their opposition and racist views. I wonder.
He's certainly mobilized them, but I think the problem is he's got Black people up off the sofa, which is good. And whether or not the energy that's been mobilized is necessarily going in the right direction is a valid question, but it at least got people to the point of realizing that they have to do something. What the right something is, I think, is always going to be a topic of debate, but it did kind of mobilize a certain energy. Yes, amongst the far right, but I think across the board, because he offends so many people on so many levels that, you know, you almost have to respond to him, don't you?
And can I ask, is this mobilization restricted strictly to the electorate, or are you saying Black people generally have become more, I suppose, defense aware?
I think Black people generally, I mean, the American electorate, you know, in a position now where they have to step up and do something about it. But I think across the board, I mean, you're seeing people, even in the media now, who have been silent for decades, suddenly feeling a bit empowered to speak up. You're seeing the most unlikely people taking a stand. We were talking about Lewis Hamilton a couple of weeks ago. People who you wouldn't necessarily expect, and suddenly feeling that, you know, now is the time. They've found a bit of boldness and a bit of, you know, and they're standing up and saying something. And yes, it might be certain people who have the comfort of maybe a financial safety net, or they're at a point in their careers where it's less of a risk to them, but they are speaking up nonetheless. They could have done it a few years ago, but didn't. So there has been a certain energy in the air across the board, but that's way beyond sort of party politics or who you vote for. It's something in the air generally.
Brother S, you're not getting out with this one.
Well, oh dear. Okay.
It's a deep thing full of water.
Okay. So,
heavy sigh, Brother S. Heavy sigh.
If I must, at the risk of invoking anger from the spirits of my ancestors, I will entertain this conversation for a brief spell. So, lest we forget, and I guess this is a really good example of when an individual becomes more important than the movement, the principle of the party, the team, the member becoming bigger than the team, and that people losing sight of the team principles in order to, for whatever reason, in order to continue to support the ideology of the individual, right? It's got to be, what, 70 odd years now since the end of World War II. People have forgotten. And every now and again, every decade or couple of decades, another individual comes up and seems to have and be able to wield this type of magic spell over a worryingly large proportion of people, right? Hitler did it. I'm not aligning this guy to Hitler, but the principle of what happens is where the individual becomes bigger than the party. So now we're not talking about what does he stand for as a Republican Party member, or the head, the chicken head of the party. We're not talking about that versus another party. We're talking about this individual man who clearly is slightly mad, quantifiably mad. I agree that he's a megalomaniac and a narcissist and all of the things which make up for dangerous individuals who are in charge of lots of people. And in him, either lacking the capacity or not caring what he's doing and the impact that it has on others, now we're seeing that the others who align themselves with him are willing to do it like lemmings and jump off a cliff if he should ask them to. This is the disgust, and part of the reason why I don't want to really try and get into the mindset of a madman, right? What he is going to leave behind him as a legacy is a group of people that he eventually will have to step down, whether he likes it or not. And what do they do? And that's what I'm worried. I ain't worried about him. I'm worried about them now. When the chicken head has gone, we've seen if you chop off a chicken head, what does the chicken do? It run around wild and until it dropped dead. We've no idea, and we must brace ourselves for the damage that these people potentially could do to our people.
Who are you referring to when you say these people?
His supporters.
Are you referring to politicians or
his supporters?
The white militia?
No, I'm talking about half the population that voted for him.
Yeah. So what is it they would do, you think? Is it like physical harm, shooting people, that type of stuff?
All of it.
Okay.
And they're now being given license. They've been given permission because the chicken head said it's all right.
Yeah, a few of them have come out. Well, I say a few of them. A few of them I've seen on some newsreels who have been buying guns for 15 years. One of them, he said, they've been buying guns and ammunition for 15 years. He says, if Donald Trump loses the election, he's ready to go to war.
I saw that footage.
Yeah, so they're already been primed. I mean, somebody buying ammunition for 15 years, he didn't even know that Donald Trump was going to be the president.
Never got permission. He never had permission.
He never knew. He never
had permission. No, he may not have known, but he never got permission prior to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has now said to all of them, right, go ahead.
Yeah.
He's torn up the script. He's torn up the rule book. He's thrown his rattle out the pram, and never have we seen the likes of this in modern times.
I want to pose a question then. Is it that Western democracy, effective Western democracy, is about the liberals who aren't as racist, but may still be racist, containing the ones who are extremely racist. Is that what's on the table? Vote for me, because I'm not as racist as him, and I won't be inciting it. But you know something, you won't be getting what you want, but at least you won't be getting murdered and nobody feeling gleeful about it. It won't be like open season on black people. Is that what Western democracy is for us as black people?
Problem is, though, that the liberals are not less racist or less destructive. They just use alternative methods. And if you look over in America, Biden's record against black people is disturbing. Bill Clinton's record against black people was disturbing.
Yeah.
They just come at it from a different angle.
Okay.
So it's a sledgehammer versus a scalpel. The end result is the same. It's damage. It's just the methods that are different.
So are you confirming then, in a sense? No, it's fine. Are you confirming that is Western democracy for us as black people, that we pick the ones who aren't as vulgar and we kind of see them as offering us a better way of living as opposed to the ones who are extreme and vulgar? Is that what's on the table?
That's what we've been doing. And I think what we need to get wise to the fact that they're equally destructive. So we need to, and sometimes, unfortunately, you do have to, real life does require us sometimes to have conversations or to enter into certain kinds of negotiations that people who we wouldn't really give house space to. But it is about us getting wise enough to treat politics as the business that it is and start coming at it with a business-like attitude, because all votes count and our vote is worth something. So let's start trading it, knowing that nobody's going to give us the kind of deal or the kind of consideration that we're looking for, but we might be able to buy it.
So what's our first stepping stone in educating the black electorate? Because I'm just surprised that so many black people get dizzy when elections come around. It's like Boris Johnson, regardless of what you said, I see black people stop him in the street and take pictures with him. Oh, Boris Johnson, oh.
I know. It's this thing called the illusion of inclusion, which has been sold very, very effectively.
So what's the first step in us educating the black electorate? We've got like 4.5 minutes to go. What would be a first step in a few sentences then? Because it seems like a monumental task. I'm a non-voter.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
The people who are clued up don't vote. Yeah. What's the first step in getting people to realize the game that's being played? It's just like the book, a game as old as empire. You know, it won't be widely read, and people won't be clocking what's at the core of these devices that are used to rope us in time and time again. So I'm interested to hear from the panelists, what do you think is a first step in educating the black electorate?
I think we have to start using the word tangible. Okay. What is the tangible offer that is being put in front of you? What is this person putting on the table, and how do they intend to honor it? Don't get blinded by symbols and little gestures. What is the tangible offer that's being put on the table? If they cannot tell you what it is, then it's not there.
Yeah, but when they're coming to me with in the election, I'm just posing a question. They're saying I'm going to pay less tax.
Yeah, what does that mean? Put it on the table.
It means I'm going to pay less tax, and my mortgage is going to be less, and I'm going to keep a few pounds in my salary every week. So there.
Lovely soundbite. How are you going to do it? Break it down for me exactly as how you're going to do it.
Okay.
I want it in black and white, because when you get in and then you tell me that, oh well, things are different now and I can't do it. We've seen this so many times before. We saw it with students and top-up fees and all kinds of things. Put it on the table, and how am I going to know that you're going to honor it?
Okay.
So
integrity.
Here's what I would think would need to be the first step, or part of go some way towards the first step. Because what you asked was, if an election comes, you know, what is it that we would be asking for, right? In the first instance, we've got to know that if we are in a negotiating environment, we also have to be bringing something to the table. We can't just go to the table with our open hand. And perhaps that's been a problem, a historical problem for us, is that we're going there and we're doing it with our hands cupped. Please give us this. And perhaps until we are a tangible, collaborative unit of people, and I'm talking about in terms of our race and culture, of all classes, that we can then feel that in a unified way, we can go to the table and say, see we are. If we're going there 1-1, they'll pick us off 1-1 because it's easy. They can just go to you and say, how much will it cost us? What do you want? And they can give that to you on an individual basis, and you can disappear into the ether and nobody will be any the wiser. And perhaps through tokenism, we see how those gestures impact the Black community, where we get one of us who may be deemed prominent, and we're saying, well, there you go, that maybe they'll pull us up, perhaps. No, they keep it moving.
Yeah, we've got less than a minute.
Oh, let me be quiet for my sisters.
I think
anything, Ebony, before we go?
Yeah, I think we also have to be aware that we need to go in as politicians, but also Afrocentric minded politicians, as opposed to just voters. We have to be of the mind that we need to be in a position that we can affect some change, because this is their system.
And that's it for this episode of ORT. If you'd like to win one of our Proud to be Black badges, then send in the answer to this question. Who wrote the book Ake? A-K-E. Who was the author? Send your answers to the email in the description below. This show was sponsored by Sunrise CMOS, whose details are also in the description below. Until the next time, walk good.
And remember, talk the thing.
Organize.